There was a sister and brother arguing about a video game controller. And the older sister, which is 14 years old, she wouldn't allow the younger brother to have it. So instead of maybe telling his mom about it to maybe if she could solve the argument, he decides to go to the bedroom in a nightstand, get a handgun, and go behind his sister and shoot her in the back of the head. Let's roll that clip.
Janae White, also known as D, was supposed to be practicing to play the drums Sunday at Life Culture in Tupelo.
We still can't put it together.
Charles Moore, the pastor and founder of the church, says she was shy but always had plenty of life in her and had just committed to playing. He is still in shock after what happened.
The reality of it is that we know she's not here anymore, but just to accept it is still hard.
He says many of Dejanay's family members are members of the church, so when he received a call about what happened, he went to the home and the hospital. Not only was he there, but so was her basketball team and her coach.
They rallied the team for the last hurrah with Dee before she actually took her last heartbeat.
Not only is she going to be missed by her family, her church, and her team, but also by those in the classroom. One teacher from Tupelo Middle School sent us this message saying it was an emotional Monday. Many students cried while others.
Now, when the shooting happened, you had two other siblings in the home. The mom was actually in the kitchen, and the gun belongs to the husband. That's who the gun belongs to. Now, right now, as the district attorney is looking at the charges, of course, that's going to happen. But since he is 9 years old, they really can't hit him with charging him as an adult because he is juvenile age. But securing a gun in your home in a way that they chose to do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get charges. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there are gun safes out there that you can buy to secure your weapons. Children should not have access to any firearms that you may possess to protect your household or to go hunting or whatever else you want to do with it. Children should have no access to that at all. And if you taught your children how to shoot, and if one day they're teenagers, someone trying to break in, they need to defend themselves, then you give them the code to the safe and let them get the firearm to protect themselves at that point. And after that incident, I would get rid of that safe and then get another one with a new code because the kids don't need to have access to the firearms. It's just that simple. You can't have firearms in your nightstand like you're single and have kids running around and think one of them may not get it to do something just to play with the gun. How many children have died that way, playing with a gun and shoot themselves or shoot another sibling, and then that's that. So the parents were very careless in the handling and securing of that firearm from the get-go. I mean, that's just bottom line. So definitely I look for them to throw some charges at them. I mean, but come on. I mean, that just doesn't make any kind of sense. We as people that's going to have firearms need to be very, very responsible with that. Because, you know, the DA going to say, well, if you had your gun properly secured, if you had it in the safe, or even had it put up where he couldn't get access to it, this tragedy could have been prevented. And it's kind of hard to say that it couldn't been prevented. This is extremely sad. Now you have two children, one gone, the other one life is just completely ruined, that 9-year-old going to have to live with the guilt all his life that he murdered his sister over a video game. And as they were stating, you can't hit the reset button. You can't start over or anything when it comes to killing a person in real life, like the video games, because some of the video games that younger children are playing today is a little bit more violent than when I grew up. I remember the worst video game out there that was violent was the first Mortal Kombat. That was like the most violent game that was out there. And it was slowly things was changing with games being violent, but they had rating systems on the games. I know some of them probably still got it now, but parents are kind of a little bit more strict, allowing their little 9-year-olds to play violent games. Now you have 9-year-olds and 8-year-olds playing Grand Theft Auto, which is very adult in nature. The violence that's in Grand Theft Auto, that's not for younger audiences, maybe teenagers and up, but not someone that's 9 years old to be exposed to that kind of violence. So this tragedy is sad all the way around. The parents got to go through the burying the child, and just because the gun wasn't secured right in a argument that children have, because I had arguments too growing up like that about video game controls or whatever. Now lives are ruined, child gone, and for what? As adults, we have to make sure that we cover all bases with our firearms or anything else that we have in our home that could possibly harm our children. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think the parents are going to be charged in this case? And make sure to subscribe to find out when we post new news stories.